Zig Zag Wanderer, and here I am standing in front of the Peking boat. Not to be confused with the Peking duck, so just bear that in mind. Today's lesson should be about observing the sky and looking at various cumulus clouds, up in the sky. So, let's try to, think about what's up in the sky. Sometimes when you look up into the sky, you'll find a really big fat cloud, and then you could look up a lot higher, Sometimes it doesn't go so high. Let's go over here and take a look at some clouds. The thing with clouds is that they're really huge, so no matter how far you walk, you'll never really get away from a cloud. So, now these clouds up there, that's definitely something interesting that people should look at, And as you span, those things all the way over there, you can see certain patterns within the sky, and that's definitely a good thing. If we look up there, we can see the rise coming down, and definitely something to think about. If anyone can actually notice, way over there, we'll see how high these things are. So, now, I just have to ask you, how many people looked up into the sky when I was pointing like that? I hope a lot did. But I'll tell you something, there were a lot of people looking up in the sky when the camera was away from them. So, it's always funny, to point to the sky and see how many people look up. Try that one day. It's always interesting because even if there is nothing in the sky, people start finding things in the sky to look at once you start pointing. Then it becomes like a topic of conversation, and then, people are out on a date, and then they actually have something to talk about because, one person from one corner pointed to the sky, and now they're finding things in the sky to point at and talk about, which is definitely a good thing. So, following people is interesting too, if they don't catch you, especially strange looking people, who sometimes look like Santa Claus, but they're not Santa Claus, because we know it's not yet Christmas time, but you see them, but they're wearing a tie and a suit and walking around. That's definitely interesting. I gotta tell you, that's interesting. Well, this is what we call the South Sea seaport in New York, for all of those who are interested in sightseeing. People come here with their cameras and they take pictures of this New York Central, and they go home and they talk to their friends. And if you look carefully, you can see the sightseeing bus in the background. Do you see the New York sightseeing bus? Maybe we'll go and catch that later, So, one of the suggestions we need to make to these sightseeing buses is to install like a DVD system so they can watch the DVDs of the show on the bus in case, they're bored or something. So, but like I said, if we notice the patterns that are in the sky, we begin to realize there's a certain kind of effect that hits one target from the other. You know what I mean? So, those people just don't know how to have fun. Anyway, but unfortunately, I have seen many things before that would sometimes follow, but good thing, the gun will not go off because of the patterns in the sky, Sometimes you just wonder, what do cops do all day? And I could be, did they just hear what I said? People are just too busy. What happens is you take the camera out and people pretend they don't see the camera. So no matter what you're doing or saying, they ignore it. So it's interesting. Even the cops, you can actually, dance with guns and stuff like that in the air, and no one will mind. So alright. So once again, this is the. Sorry, my cell phone's ringing. Just give me Yeah. Hello. I never thought about it. You know, how many people like that do you see? Well, we've learned many important lessons. Number one lesson is pointing in the sky and having other people look. Number two is that no matter what you're doing, cops seem to ignore you. And number three, it's always good to have fun by yourself. So once again, this is the Zig Zag Wanderer here, walking around the seaport area in the city.
Zig Zag.